Host Podcast.
And there will be random people that will come in there and come to me and they're like, oh guys, you will never last. I was like, well, I mean, why would you say that? And they're like, because fashion designers will eventually start fighting and then you guys going to split up and that will never work. People try. And for me, it was kind of ridiculous. And the happiness level of all of us was like beyond anything I ever experienced in my life to this day. Interesting enough, I don't like to be too much on my own. I don't know, I always love to be surrounded by people. And thankfully, a lot of people here that work with us are my friends. We always say to our designers, it's that ability to experiment you need to capitalize on at the beginning. You cannot possibly guess everything right from the very first production run.
From Russia to New York, Elizabeth Solomeina came with a creative vision, not just to design, but to make space for others who do.
She co-founded a fashion platform that helps independent designers, especially young, underrepresented brands, show their work, sell their pieces, and be seen by the world.
What started with a handful of creatives in a small store has grown into a global community with locations in New York and Paris and shows during fashion weeks around the world.
She's helped hundreds of designers move from idea to runway, from overlook to in demand, proving that collaboration can be just as powerful as competition.
This is Elizabeth Solomeina, and this is her story.
Welcome to Fashion Host Podcast, and today with us is amazing Elizabeth Solomeina. Welcome.
Thank you, ladies. Thank you so much for inviting me to this podcast.
Thank you so much for inviting us to your amazing space.
Yes, something that we want everyone to hear about. This is a very special place, and Elizabeth will tell us how did we get here, why we are here, and why so special.
And first, I would like to ask Elizabeth if you can tell us how would you explain to a 5-year-old what you are doing? What is your job?
Well, my job is I'm a co-founder and managing director of Flying Solo. But to a 5-year-old, I basically make sure that everything runs smoothly. Our stores are open. Our designers are here represented well. That we do fashion shows during fashion weeks. That our press runs smoothly. So basically, in charge of overlooking all the operations in Flying Solo.
And you're also helping young designers to be able to sell their clothes as soon as possible, right?
Yeah, so basically the mission of Flying Solo is to elevate independent designers in many different ways. So we give an amazing platform for designers to succeed, and we often take brands from that very small stage when they just start growing, or maybe they just came to the US market, or maybe we have a store in Paris, or maybe to France market, and we grow them there. So we take them from a smaller stage to the point when they get to a larger stage, and then very likely they'll go on their own to open their own stores to get their own wholesale orders. So that's what we do.
Yeah, I want to hear more a little later about these success stories.
Yes, but we should start at the beginning.
From the beginning, yeah.
So Elizabeth is originally from Russia.
Yes, I am, yeah.
And how did you end up here in New York, taking over the scene? Fashion scene?
Well, I guess it's a compliment that you're saying that I took over the scene, but we're definitely a part of it as Flying Solo. Originally, I moved to United States when I was 20 years old, and I went to study here. Actually, my first career was not in fashion. I went to film school and I studied production and post-production. So I did quite a bit for video and film, and only then ended up being in fashion.
You didn't work in fashion business in Russia?
No, I have not, no.
Mm-hmm.
So you started here with the Flying Solo to be deeply involved in fashion and never had experience before?
Well, it's actually started with a jewelry brand. So me and my sister opened a jewelry brand. It's Solomeina as our last name, and we did grow it to be a pretty successful business, but it was still kind of small. So you know that stage of the designer when you already start getting clients and repeated clients and a little more people interested, and you get noticed here and there, but you have absolutely no idea how to grow that brand to a international recognition, when you'll be in magazines, on celebrities, when you'll be in a fashion show. So how do you do that when you open your own stores or be in retail stores all over New York and Paris? So there was absolutely no path for that. And I think what was happening, I was personally looking for a place like Flying Solo, and I ended up meeting a lot of the designers along the way through different events that were also looking for a place like Flying Solo. So Flying Solo actually started with 10 designers. So there were 10 founding designers of Flying Solo. Majority of them are still here, and we never thought that it will grow into anything like this. We simply wanted a place for ourselves. So we had a small store just for 10 of us, and we opened it, and more designers started stopping by, and they're like, oh, how do we join? How can we be a part of it? Then 10 became 30, 30 became 50, then it's 100, then now we manage over 200 brands, and all happened organically. But at the same time, I think we were really blessed as a company that we weren't just solving some abstract problem. We're really coming from the pain that we were solving for ourselves. So that's why the very first service that we were offering was retail. So retail is the hardest thing to break into in New York. So try getting into any store in the middle of SoHo.
Good luck.
Good luck. It's mission impossible, really. So what you're going to see here, it's either big brands or you need to open your own store. And opening your own store in SoHo, it's like you really need to have big budgets. Like this have to be massive amount of money. And if you don't have it, then you're kind of stuck. So we first solved that problem because by combining our resources together, not only we're able to maintain the store, but also being noticed. One of us cannot be noticed, but 10 of us, then 30, then 50, all of a sudden, everybody was paying attention, including the industry, the fashion industry. Funny enough, only 1 month after we opened, and we're still in the baby stage of the company, we're still trying to figure out what we are doing here. And someone reached out to us, and I certainly thought it couldn't be true. And it was Women's Wear Daily. They actually, turns out, they stopped by the store, talked to one of us, I don't even know who they talked to, and they're like, oh, we want to write a profile on you. So until they did an interview with me, and until it was actually published, I still was like, no, it cannot be true. Like, why would they write about us? We still don't even know what we're doing. We're trying to, survive as designers, it's fun and all, but we're really not that big yet. But they called us the future of retail, and I think this is the title that showed us the path to where we were going. We really were the future, because at the first years of Flying Solo, we keep growing, and then Barney's closed down, opening ceremony closed down. And it wasn't happening just randomly. It was happening for a reason, because the traditional model of wholesale and everything really stopped working, and it was time for younger brands to start taking over. Mm-hmm. So that's how the Flying Solo started. And then we also, as designers, start thinking, what else do we need? Like, all of us, what else can we do for each other? And then it became we also opened our press showroom, because again, all of us needed press, but how do you get to editors by yourself? Like, you cannot just randomly walk into their office. You need to have a press showroom. You need to invite them, but who is going to come from the reputable editors if it's just one brand that anyone barely heard of? But when it's 10, then 30, then 50, all of a sudden people start paying attention. And that was our second service that we started offering to our designers. And then it was February of of 2017, and that was our first fashion week. So a little less than a year after we opened, well, actually half a year after we opened, we decided to do a fashion show. It also was something that, I mean, we had one designer that did it before, but basically we're taking over something that we had no idea how to do, but we were again brave enough to really do it. And there was so much coverage on our show. Vogue Brazil, Marie Claire, WWD also came over to do the whole thing. They were actually one of our early supporters. And yeah, all of a sudden we became a big thing in the fashion industry. I think after the first show, you really arrive. And all of a sudden people start paying attention. You're no longer just a store. Now you do fashion shows and taking over and like start being noticeable in New York. So it did happen suddenly. I mean, it was one of the situations you really don't know how to get it done, but you have it in your heart that you must get it done because there is no other way. For all of us, it was one of the only way to do it. So we fully believed that it will be achievable, and so we did. I guess 9 years later we're here, bigger than ever. So yes,
and stronger. We are stronger when we are together.
Would you? That's exactly true. Would you say that the first moment when you realized that you are a success when WWD reached out for the first time, or was it later? That
I think so. That was, but you know, it's really strange. In the moment when those things happen, you don't really realize when it's happening. Because I mean, I remember first, like, I mean, our biggest press was like, I guess, reach out when it was an article in New York Times that did a profile on us, and it was a couple years after we opened. And I remember when article came out, we were just in the middle of wrapping up Fashion Week, and we're just also tired and also busy.
Couldn't care less.
Like, and you're like, okay, it came out, great, like now we need to. It sinks in only sometime later. You're like, oh wow, we actually did it. Now looking back, it was wonderful and magical, and all those things happening. I guess they all happen for a reason, but I think in the moment you really don't feel it.
We hear that a lot from our guests.
Yeah, we just recently spoke about it, that in fashion business, because everything is so fast and like you did something and then you move on to another thing, and that previous thing came out like 6 months later, but you're already onto something, so you don't really feel what exactly happened, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So you can only reflect looking
but
back.
I just want to say something. At the beginning, when I said that she changed the scene, fashion scene in New York, it sounded too ambitious. But when you hear this, what she just said, how they got together, they didn't know what they were doing, but they had a dream and they followed the steps. With mistakes on the road or without mistakes on the road, you have to keep going. And that's why she's here 10 years later. And with 200 designers?
Yeah, over 200.
But even I also heard that when you were just starting out, that there were some people who were walking into your store and telling you how you're not going to last long, right?
Yeah, that's actually one of the funniest thing I always thought when I think back of the beginning of times. They were really random people that will come into, like, we used to throw a lot of parties, still do. I mean, fashion industry is supposed to be fun, so we did a lot of parties for our clients, for the stylists, for this and that. And those parties, you know, were fun. And there will be random people that will come in there and come to me and they're like, oh guys, you will never last. I was like, well, I mean, why would you say that? And they're like, because fashion designers will eventually start fighting, and then you guys going to split up, and that will never work. People try. And for me, it was kind of ridiculous because, again, I come from the creative industry. So when it's a film shoot, there is a big team that's working on the thing. Like, you cannot do it alone. You cannot do like even a smaller video production alone. So you have to have, exactly. It's so many of us in the room right now just filming this. So it has to be a collaborative work. And I also know that collaboration is so fun because there is something that you cannot explain that it's in the room when a lot of creatives are together. When you start creating and someone else start like developing your idea and something else, and you feel it through your body. So, and it's fun. And why would you not do it in fashion? So for me, it was kind of ridiculous. And again, I think it was a blessing for me personally that I did, obviously at the time already has some experience with Solomeina jewelry and experience it somewhat, but I didn't spend the whole, like my whole career in fashion. So what was amazing is I didn't know how it's supposed to be.
That's
I
good.
just knew
that's good, like us.
Yeah, that's how it was in other creative things, and now it's fashion. I always love fashion. I mean, but in my opinion, it's also supposed to be collaborative. So I think me being so naive about it and kind of carried on that vision. And I think a lot of our designers, the founding designers, were in the same boat. Not all of them had a career in corporate before, so a lot of them were self-starting designers. They also have early success with their design, but they didn't know how it's supposed to be. And they also felt it was like 10 of us together. It was so fun to run our very first store. It was like some of us coming in with like sketches and showing another, and another person's like, oh look, like you might do this and this, and you're like, okay, this is a great idea. So, and then you try to collaborate together and do something else. Maybe you'll do a photo shoot together, and so much creativity around. And I guess that was one of the most wonderful things.
It's so amazing to hear that.
Right, but I also want to say, since it was like your baby, everyone wanted to take care of it from the personal reason, and it was emotional for everyone, and that's why you guys stayed together, and none of them had any experience in a business.
That is correct. I mean, we had limited experience here and there, and I guess also was a blessing.
But this kind of business and like
well,
this idea.
Okay, so very limited bits here and there. So we had Daniel Silverstein. He's still here with us, and he probably was the most experienced designer out of all of us. He already had an actual studio for 3 years, and actual I forget how many people staff. He had staff there. So, and he did fashion shows before. So that was like a little bit of experience. He never did retail stores. He only did some merchandising for retail stores. We had Mona from Mazlapur. She was a manager of the store before, and then she went to a completely different career, and then she started her own brand. So she knew how to do a little bit of a customer service, like how to at least package things and greet the customer and like do the zoning in the store. Cool. Yeah, so we did that. Sylvia from Sylvia Davila, she had a different experience. So all her experience was in construction. So like anything in the store and at the beginning of the stages, construction is one of the most important thing ever. So like any kind of how to do lining, electricity, like how to get something into the wall, she was in charge of that. We had
girl designer creator in construction.
Exactly. Yes.
Sounds success from right there.
Yeah, sounds success. And then we had people that start taking on the roles. Like Katie Laris was now is in charge of the website. She just loved digital, and she started doing that. I remember Elena Rudenko at the beginning. She was doing all the schedules for everybody, because at the beginning we're all taking shifts working in the store. So she was in charge of that. So that was the very beginning of all of it. But again, like we just really wanted to make it work, and that's what it was.
And now, do you have designers who you represent still coming to the store and spending time here with you?
Yes,
it's different.
The original crowd definitely spends time here. I mean, obviously, we don't do shifts anymore, so it's not that we constantly here, but some designers like still come in. We work in the offices, or it's still like us that started flying solo. So I don't think that will ever go away.
Mm-hmm. So in your store, you have 90% of women designers and underrepresented group of people, right? Is that still the case, or it's changed a little bit?
Surprisingly, majority of independent designers are women. It's not that we choose them; it's just by somehow that's end up being this way. I think women know how to design for women, and they more often are ready to start their own business. Maybe because they disagree the way someone else want to dress them, and they want something cooler, bolder. That's why some of the people start because of that. Some people felt underrepresented in terms of sizes and fits, so that's why they start in their own brands. And sometimes it's just expressing creativity. So yeah,
Girls power.
Girls power happens.
Yeah.
This is your third location. You changed from first to second very quickly.
Yes, it's actually not our third.
No?
I think it's our. So we had a store in Mulberry, then we had one on West Broadway, then we had another on West Broadway, then we had another on West Broadway. So we had like 3 or in 2 blocks. We had one. We had a showroom in Worcester. We had. Wait, we have 4 locations on West Broadway. We were like moving around West Broadway, and then this is the 7th one.
7th.
Yeah,
one.
and then Paris will be the 8th one. Yeah.
So I counted West Broadway as 1 location, but they were 4.
They were 4.
I remember the first time I was in Flying Solo, it was in West Broadway.
Yes,
I'm not sure exactly which one it was, but I remember it was the moment I walked in, I was like, wow, all the design. I didn't know the concept, what exactly it is, but it seemed so fun, like some like very unusual, and I really saw the unique pieces, and that is pretty incredible. So many pieces that you represent, they're only one, so there's no such other.
Yes, oftentimes designers bring us like literally a single piece, and it will never be redone. And and even if it will be, some of them are only majority of them are only represented in Flying Solo. So in New York, will be the only place to find them, or even in the United States. So it's pretty unique when you come to Flying Solo and get something. Almost 99.9% of the chance you'll never run into someone wearing the same piece.
What if someone wants, like someone sees it and they're like, hey, I want to
no,
how does that work?
It's, well, as I said, like there are unique pieces, and if it's just one of a kind, we'll let people know. What happens sometimes is we do sell pieces from the runway, so our designers will do a runway show and they might sell the piece straight from there. Oftentimes those types of pieces are very expensive in a bigger production, so they'll just do a runway and sell it, and that is it. They'll never do it again. Or construction is so insane that the factory just cannot take it on, so it will be one-off and sold and done. Yes, we do have designers that do like, you know, production. Most of the time it's obviously limited production, given that we work with the smaller brands, so it's not mass production, so it still will be limited amount of pieces, but it will be a few.
But that's a magic.
Yes, it's the magic.
Yeah, I think that there is a magic, and I remember my first time stopping by Flying Solo. I stopped by because it reminded me of Paris, and I loved shopping in Paris. You know, those small boutiques, you find something very unique, and you know for sure no one in the world wears it. And I have glasses and a pair of gloves from Flying Solo designers. I don't remember the names, but I do have pieces. You have store now in Paris, and it's the same concept. And do you take American designers to Europe, or you work only with European designers at the Paris store?
We do both. We take American designers to Europe. We showcase European designers. We take also designers from Asia, Africa, and other regions to Paris. I mean, we love New York, and obviously that's our home, but Paris is also the fashion capital of the world, so you cannot deny it. But funny that you mentioned that you love the Paris little boutiques. What happened in Paris, I didn't know that. It just like other people told us that after pandemic, a lot of those boutiques closed down, so they just didn't survive it. And when we opened Flying Solo in Paris, when people started coming in, they was like, oh my God, this is how Paris used to be.
Yeah.
Like,
but you opened after the pandemic.
Yeah, we opened in 2023 after the pandemic.
Yeah, so this is my feeling about Flying Solo when I first stepped in. I think it was West Broadway, but I don't remember. My memory is limited.
And when you do fashion shows, you also did fashion show in Paris, right?
Yeah, we do. So now we do New York. So we do New York twice a year, September and February. We do Paris twice a year, September and February. And we also added Milan to our portfolio just last year. So every September we do Milan.
So you do 3 fashion weeks?
Yes.
I mean, in one
with
season.
the different designers.
Some designers choose to participate in a few, or we had a couple that participate in all 3. But normally they choose to, like for example, Paris in September and then New York in February.
And it's a fashion show merge designers that you represent in the stores.
Yeah, so well, designers can apply just to be a part of the fashion show, or just the store, or both of it. So the whole idea is kind of the same. Like, it's really expensive to do a fashion show by yourself, and especially if you want to do it on a high-end level. I mean, God knows there are a lot of shows that don't look exactly how designer wanted to look, and when you spend so much time on your creation, so much money, you really want to showcase in a big stage that it looks like you grown up brand, the one that is actually ready to take over the world. And it's very expensive to do that. It's very expensive to rent those venues. It's very expensive to get a photo, video, like all the lighting, like all of it is so expensive, the entire production. On top of it, if you never did it before, oh God, like it's really hard. On top of it, that you have to pay models, you need to have a connection with press, because even if you have the most beautiful show ever, the most beautiful designs, it's very unlikely that press is going to stop by if they don't know you. And that's the tragedy of the whole thing. And for us, we realized that if we put a lot of designers under the same roof, a lot of amazing talent, do a beautiful show for them on the level of any big show, then press will come. And they did. And our shows are constantly covered by Vogue, Elle, Harper's, L'Officiel. A lot of really cool other publications come over to cover it. And it's for a reason, because they know that they're not just stepping in to see one designer, they'll see a bunch of them, and it will be so much talent in one room. And it's now for press, it's like they will miss it, because if you want to know what's next in fashion, you come to Flying Solo, because you're going to see those designers that are going to be big next, and this is the way to discover talent.
And how, when you do the fashion show, so there are different designers, how many approximately for one show?
So around 70 brands that we showed.
70?
70. Yeah. It's
so it would be one look per designer?
No, it will be 8 looks per designer. So we normally divide it into sections. So it's anywhere from 5 to 7 sections per day. We do it like throughout the day, then we showcase.
It's like a mini fashion show, fashion week in one day.
Yes, that is correct. So we'll divide it normally. Ready to wear opens the day, so it's ready to wear, then sportswear, then we do a summer and resort, and then we do evening, and then we do couture. So that's, and sometimes each of the sections might have two parts. Like if we have a lot of ready to wear, then it'll be 2 parts of ready to wear, for example.
And
so logistics.
Yeah, right? A lot of logistics.
A lot. And you said press know if they want to see what's next, they come to Flying Solo. How do you choose those designers? How do you know that?
That was one of my questions. How do you reject and how do you pick?
Sure. So we have an application open on our website. I mean, anyone can apply. So we want to make sure that the selection process is very fair. So there is no hidden applications, like you can apply as a designer. Yes, we are very selective of who we accept. If designer is already part of Flying Solo, so we pre-selected them for the stores, then they are the first one to go to the shows. And then we add other designers from that are not in the stores. So we always look for something new and fresh and unique point of view. I think that is the main thing what we look in the shows. And unique point of view, because they need to have a direction where they're going as a brand. So that's how press and like people that attend the show get excited. And on top of it, they also, I mean, for a young brand, it's really hard to do everything. So they do a collection, and the ones that did a great collection, that's who we select. But at the same time, in a showcasing collections, not only the venue and photography, but you also have to have like proper models and makeup and styling, which is very important. So one of the first mistakes that are done in the shows when a young designer trying to do it on your own, it's just like, you kind of see that they put effort, but it's really like, you know that it's not on that level. You don't know what's missing. So styling is like one of the big keys, and you need to know how to present the collection in order for it to appear on an international level and look this way. So it's a lot of things go into that, and we are successfully doing it every season.
And where did you get that knowledge how to put it all together? Where does it come from?
Well, I mean, first show was very hard, but I mean, thanks God, I was a producer, was a video producer, so production is in my blood. And yes, I didn't know how to do the first fashion show, but I was a fast learner. On top of it, I mean, thanks God, I also have experience in photo and video, so that part at least I knew how, like, I wasn't doing it myself, but I knew how to direct and how to hire talent. The rest we had to figure out. I mean, first show that we did, I vividly remember the second when all of us went out to the stage when it was over, and the happiness level of all of us was like beyond anything I ever experienced in my life to this day, because I couldn't.
Me too.
I couldn't believe that you actually pulled it off without much knowledge. People literally told us that it's impossible to showcase so many designers on one stage. And like first show was, I think, maybe like 20 designers or something. And people like, no, like you cannot show so many designers on one stage. It will never work. And we're like, well, we don't have any choice really. Like we're already here.
So you're professional, no breaker into yes. Like everyone who said no to you, you made it.
Oh,
so is that a challenge that is driving you, or is it?
Well, I mean, it's definitely something fun.
But it's pushing you.
Yeah, it's
every time you hear no.
Something fun happens when everybody tells you no. And I think even beyond the very first show was the COVID time. So we were actually one of very, very few companies that did fashion shows during September 2020, February 2021, when the whole New York was closed down and all shows were only outdoors. So every time we were approaching, like when we were approaching those seasons, like September 2020 and especially February 2021, when like literally you can.
Was it raining?
It was super cold.
It was super cold and a little bit of rain and everything. So, and people like, well, it's not possible to do. And we were like, no, we're going to do it. And I think it was the mentality is you cannot beat them, just join them. So a lot of people did. We did have a big show, so it was a lot of designers, but people were like, I think it was more, a lot of people show up just to see how are we going to do it.
And again, going to fail?
Yeah, are they going to fail? Yeah. But what, again, it comes with a lot of like perseverance but also some experience that you pick up along the way, because yes, it was extremely cold, but one thing that we learned from our previous shows was when it's cold and the stage is slippery, you need to choose non-slippery. When it's, well, I mean, we learned it from the show that we did in Miami, so you learn those little things. And we also learned that when it's slippery, you need to get a tons of like those things on the bottom of the shoes. And it's literally was like this. Not only it was the coldest day ever, like I don't even know why all the challenges were thrown at us in one day. Not only we have to do outdoors, but it happened to be the coldest day ever. So on top of it, so it was 6 shows in that day. So it was like first, second, everybody's freezing, but we're going through this, like people did show up, I think out of curiosity, it's like what is going to happen. And plus it was nothing to do. So everybody was there. Press was there too. I thought press wouldn't show up, but because it was so few shows, it was literally only 4 shows went live that season in New York Fashion Week. Normally it's about 70, 80 goes live. So everybody was there. They were freezing, but they were there. And
everyone was happy to be out of the house. I mean, if they had a good reason.
Yeah, and so we're doing the shows, and the 6th show was like, you know, like in those movies, their heroes are about to win the whole thing, and then it started raining. So it started raining, and I was like, oh God, hope like our models wouldn't start slippery. But again, we chose non-slippery, and I remember the whole team. Again, it also comes to the team and trust to each other. We grabbing those bags with those like sticky things that you put on the shoes so they will not, like all of us on the floor just sticking those things to the models, because it's about 60 models that need to have their shoe protection. And all of us were like, oh God, hope someone is wiping the floor like in front of them so it will be actually less slippery. So all of us then we just like hope every girl when they walk, they're like, oh please don't slip. So, and everything was fine. Everybody walked. Like at the end of it, I couldn't believe that we did it, but we did. So what it taught us that no matter what the circumstance are, we going to do it. And now when people is like, we still do September shows like outdoors, and every time someone asks, oh, what is it going to rain? We're like, we did it.
Been there, done that.
We did
Snow,
it in February.
we did it.
Yeah, we snow, we did it. So yeah, that's how.
I actually remember that show. I saw it on Instagram.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it was so beautiful.
Yeah, you could have. Well,
It
me
was
as a professional,
blessing in disguise.
yeah. Well, sometimes people like you guys at the present don't feel the impact that they're making, but in few years someone will say, oh, Elizabeth inspired me with her team to do it, and I think you're inspiring people, especially.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I personally curious how you wearing this many hats. How do you manage this? You have your own jewelry line. You managing this, all of this. You have so many people to take care
Showroom,
of.
retail store,
Paris,
PR.
I think you just have to love it. Then it becomes part of your life. And how do you manage life? You just live it. Like, so that's my answer to that. So I think it was a blessing that I am a designer myself, and it really comes that from the point that I really want to solve it for everybody, because it's not just an abstract problem for me. It's a real problem, and every designer that is here, I feel their pain, like why they even came here, because they also wanted to become that brand as we all were, like all 10 of us at the very beginning. So yeah, I know the struggles, I know the challenges, I feel all of them. So yeah, I guess that's how it goes.
And how do you balance it with your personal life? And I mean, is there work personal life balance? Because I myself struggling with this. Like how do you?
Well, we have an amazing team. I mean, our team, we travel together, we work together, we are really good friends. So it's not that
it's like family,
here,
right?
yeah, it becomes family. It's become Flying Solo family.
Ines
so
is my family now.
Yeah.
Yes. But I want to ask you about your line. So you're designing it with your sister. The production of unique pieces is sold only in Flying Solo.
Yes, that is correct. Yeah.
Oh,
yes.
interesting.
That's interesting. Would you sell your line somewhere else if you had the chance?
Well, of course we might. It's not. We encourage all of our designers like to keep growing. So the idea is that they start here and they go into a big world. I mean, some designers do sell a lot online, but they still sell in retail here, or start retail here and start selling in other stores. So that's the whole idea. Just keep growing.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask for your line because it's kind of connected. Flying Solo with Solomeina.
Yeah.
It's kind of one sibling twins.
Well, I mean, I think it just for me, I always have to keep designing, because I think that's what connects me to all other designers, those creative challenges, like creating a new collection, sleepless night before fashion week when you have to just make it on time. So I think it's always going to be part of me.
Yeah, and again, it's the how to juggle this creative part and the business part.
Yeah. But it's probably she has it both in her, and she had to combine it because there is not one winning over the other.
Yeah.
I mean, the story is actually a proof of that. She's doing business very well, and design is in her.
By the way, we are wearing the designs.
Yes.
You can tell.
You're wearing the latest runway pieces. Yeah.
Yes. You're offering packages to your designers, not just to sell at the store. You have a full service when it comes to presenting, marketing, and PR, and showroom.
So we specialize in editorial placement, so that's what we do, and that's what we're excellent at. And it's basically editorial, for those who don't know. It's your piece on a model in a photo shoot with the credits of those pieces. So that's our specialty that we do for our designers.
How do you... So you heard so many no's in your life before you opened Flying Solo. How did you deal with rejections, and how do you reject now that you're in position to reject?
Oh, I mean, I don't think that we ever reject. It's more like you just not now. I mean, for me, no was always just not now. And a lot of brands, especially if they go an extra mile and ask us for advice, okay, it's no now, but what do I have to do to be for it to become a yes? And we'll take time and explain to them, okay, you need to work on this and that, and you like. Designers that truly have it in them and this is their passion, they'll get there no matter what. Yes, it might take a few iterations and they might need to refine their line, and sometimes they're trying to do fashion shows but they're clearly not ready, and we give them guidance and they often come back like the next season, the season after already ready. And I also think there is a value in that. It's not everybody is going to get it right the first time around, and it's actually normal.
So, and right now, how many brands do you have in waiting line, like to waiting for you to say yes?
Multiple hundreds, but it's again, it's not that they're like literally on a daily basis saying like waiting for us to say yes. We do, when we say no to someone, we do explain like, you know, what they need to work on, and if they really want us even further advice, we actually do outline. Some designers even came to show their collections like, okay, what do I need to work on? And one of us, like one of the designers, actually take time to explain it to them. So I do think that there is a lot of value in like growing as a designer too.
That's so great.
Yeah, it's a consulting as well.
Yeah. And do you remember, maybe on top of your head, some brand that you saw and you immediately, wow, that's brilliant?
Well, I don't like to play favorites, but it was way more than a few times when that type of thing happens. But also, reality of business is that not all brilliant designs will become successful businesses, and it's something that all young designers should keep in mind. I mean, we provide a wonderful platform for brands, but it's also up to the brand to do their part and keep growing and keep adjusting and keep persevering, because just brilliant designs unfortunately will not get you to the line where you want to be.
Unfortunately. Yeah. And
go.
You always emphasize that young designers should, when they enter in this business, they should think that it's passion and hard work. Is there anything else they should be prepared for?
So they also should be prepared that it's business, because what often happens is it could be an amazing creative and the collection could be brilliant, but then you need to manufacture and sell it. And that is actually the opposite thing from creativity, because manufacturing have to be as low cost as possible, meaning that you're battling your creativity and high quality with an actual life where you have to lower your cost. Numbers, yes, exactly, and make sure that someone's going to actually buy it for the amount that you can produce it for. So if a young brand can get a partner that actually going to do business for them, I mean, definitely someone that you trust, that don't just do random people, but someone that you trust, and sometimes you just know who those people are in your life. So one will do business and one will do creative. Yes, you guys are going to fight a lot for sure, but at the same time, that oftentimes creates very good brands, because one can be creative and one can do business, and they will balance each other. And as you know from the history, a lot of really famous designers had that person in their life. Sometimes it was an actual partner, it was like a couple of people. Sometimes it was a very silent person behind the scenes, but when you dig deep, there was that person that was helping them to develop the business. So do that. And if you cannot, if you still like a solo entrepreneur and owner of the brand, then really become business first, because I mean, there is nothing bad about doing it as a hobby. Like, if you want to do it as a hobby, great for you. You should enjoy every single piece that you design, and that is great. But if you want to make money out of that, just remember that it will be 95% of just business and only 5% of your designing. So unfortunately, me for Solomeina jewelry, it's maybe 5% of the time there is time for design. So it's not you just sitting in the studio with the sunlight and like sketching first, and then you getting the first prototypes. And no, it's really not like that. You like sketch something, trying to get it to the production screwed up, and then you're trying to adjust it, and it's like, okay, it's ready somehow, let's try to see if the costs align and all those things. So that's how the real business is, and you just need to be aware of it.
A lot of work. I cannot imagine how you deal with all of that. And you also do you still collaborate with Parsons?
We did a few years back. We didn't do it recently, but yeah, we're definitely looking forward to do something again, because we believe that it's very important to collaborate with younger generation designers. Literally, when they just come out of school, oftentimes they absolutely don't have resources, and we did a few competitions with them. So basically, the best students, will decide all together with their faculty who is going to be the best student, will get a prize like our fashion show for free and things like that. So we did all of those things. Yeah, but we definitely looking to get back into that.
What about sustainability? Now that's a big subject in fashion. Do you think about that as a concept of your store, or you are trying to avoid it since it's a little bit complicated at the moment with younger designers? Sure.
So the word sustainability got overused a lot. So, and it's unfortunately, it became just a marketing play to get more customers. And H&M and Zara are now all sustainable, and God knows that they're not. But so I don't believe that designers should use it for the sake of just using it. I think you should be self-sustainable first, because the young designers are sustainable by default. So most likely, one of those is true. You either hire people in your local community, because you simply don't have bigger productions, they're not within your reach. So you end up hiring people within your city or somewhere nearby you. So meaning that you end up paying fair wages to them. So this is labor sustainability. You also don't produce much waste, because you cannot do massive production and then burn your design. So that is material sustainability, and other things that comes with the smaller brands that make it sustainable. So what I would say about sustainability, if you can sustain your business as a small brand, you're really contributing sustainability by default. So do that first. Make sure that you actually can sustain yourself as a brand. There is no such thing as 100% sustainability. I mean, someone famously said that the only most sustainable way, in the clothing manufacturing, is for us to walk around naked. So, and if we don't, the
fashion would be dead.
Yeah, so the fashion will be dead. So, and if we don't do that, we're still creating some stuff, and that is not 100% sustainable. But again, smaller designers are much more sustainable by default than any kind of big brands. So as long as you can sustain it as a business, you're already contributing very positively into the society.
I like this.
Yeah. Take care of yourself, and then others. Put a mask on yourself first.
Exactly, yeah.
And then fly solo.
Together.
Yes. Yeah. But together. Yeah, it's interesting when you were explaining how you guys got together, that flying solo is actually flying with the team.
Yeah, so their idea, it was actually funny how we came up with the name. So we are walking to what will become our very first store to check out the space. And we were all very excited, and we're like, okay, we'll have a store soon. That is so awesome. And we're like, okay, but we need a name now. Before we were just bunch of us. We didn't even have a name. We were just, running something. And then it was our first bigger store, and we were like, we need a name now. And all of us were brainstorming, and someone said okay, so what are we doing? So if we describe what are we doing, and someone said flying solo, and another person said we are flying solo together. So that's how flying solo came about.
I really hope this idea can multiply in this simple form, not in a corporate way. because if it becomes a corporate, it loses its value and magic that is just so small. I mean, small, more than 200 designers is not small, but small, you know, in a sense of
Hustle.
yes, and like this rules of business and structures and everything that you kind of learn in school proper way.
Yeah, no, I mean, we also always try to think from like a perspective of a designer, because making it very structured and corporate doesn't really help anyone. You always need to remember who people here are, and a lot of them are designers who just do their first or second collection, or they just brought it in. They didn't learn much about business, they just created, and they're very excited to go into the big world. So you need to approach it from their perspective and lead the way for them. And that we hope that they'll be a big brand someday.
Do you have a word in choosing designs, what they're going to sell, or designers choose that?
So designers choose that. I mean, we give guidance, but designers choose that. And it's also for a reason, because my personal belief is that traditional wholesale is like failing for many reasons, including that. So if you know anything about wholesale, then it's a buyer have to choose 6 to 8 months in advance, most of the time 8, even more nowadays, what is going to be popular. So that's the challenge. So they'll purchase your collection, so then you manufacture it, and they in February of like at the beginning of the year they'll place an order, and by September you'll deliver it, right?
And everybody forgot about it.
Yeah, and everybody already forgot about it. So yeah, exactly. So how you as a buyer supposed to guess in the times of social media what's going to be popular 6 to 8 months later? It's nearly impossible
Nowadays.
Yeah, nowadays. So that's why the whole model started breaking, because one celebrity is wearing something today, or influencer, you saw something cool and you want it now. You do not care about it 6 months later. So and that also comes with ability experiment. So if designer wants to showcase something to the world today, they should be able to do that. So they believe in that directions somehow. And it doesn't mean like, I mean, I don't know everything. I don't know what's going to be popular tomorrow. That's not my job to know. It's for the brand to know what direction they're going and at least where they want to experiment. So they bring it out and see what the reaction is going to be. So they can literally they can really make a sample today and bring it to the store tomorrow and see, okay, is it sold? And if it's sold, they'll make 2 of them or 5 of them and then sell it again. So that's exactly why the system is set up. It's up to them to choose what they want to bring into the world and like adjust from there. And if it didn't sell, they also learn a lesson. Okay, this didn't sell, but this one sells, so let's multiply this result on like a new collection. So that's how you succeed as a brand. I mean, like I wish I had all knowledge in the world and what's going to be popular, but none of us has it.
But that's also what makes it sustainable, I guess.
Yeah,
exactly.
They don't have to get rid of it, right?
Yep.
And I have a question. How do you, as a leader of all of this, how do you manage so many creatives under one roof?
I think you just have to come with humility and understanding like who they are, where they're coming from, because even in the conflict situations, I mean, I'm not pretending that everybody will be happy 100% of the time, because look, when it's a fashion show, it's like it's a chaos. Like it's so many, there is so many things going on. People get overwhelmed very easily, and not everything will go smoothly. It's a fashion show. Some things might go wrong, and it's by default, by design. But you need to remember that everybody is there to do just one thing, to make sure that the show will be beautiful, that everybody will be happy, and you have to come from that point of view. And again, I think we're very fortunate because we are the designers. So all the management team does come from designers. So we remember how our first fashion show was. So even if someone get overwhelmed and something didn't go right and like you need to fix it in the moment, then we remember how it was and we address it like, hey, like everything is going to be okay, we're going to fix it, we're going to move forward, and everything is going to be fine. And I think that really instills a lot of confidence in people that we work with, because when you know that someone already been there and done that and just trying to help you, you're just more likely to trust them.
I guess it's some of your personal values also help you to navigate through this business, and creativity as well, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like for me, it's always about collaborations. It's all about supporting each other. I mean, it's always been like this. So yes, definitely, I am putting those values out there.
Yeah, but just the fact that she opened this place to support others, it means she will support throughout any obstacle or challenge comes on the way. Fashion show, one of them, PR, the other one. So support is basically first or second value. You brought this dream into the reality.
Yes, 100%. I mean, supporting each other, because we realize that we cannot survive alone, like as designers, and we need to support each other. And sometimes it's a tough moment for some of us, and then others need to support you to get through it. And it's just a lot of challenges.
Circle.
Yeah, it's definitely a circle. And I think it's wonderful when you do need support and someone supports you. I think it's the most wonderful feeling in the world.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Getting it and giving it.
And
Yeah,
giving it.
both.
And where do you find your strength and inspiration, maybe? Because you do need to recharge at some point, right? Because you cannot always give and give and give and...
Yeah, no, I mean, 100%. Sometimes you need to take a moment and stay quiet and recharge. Usually I like take a few days off after a fashion show, and but also there is a lot of support comes from the team. So we all know, like when everybody's going through the same, like, you know, patterns of like, you know, your year, everybody knows when it's time to just like lay back and recharge a little bit, so we can come back to, you know, another like challenge that will be on our way.
So what would be your best place or thing to do to get that back?
Well,
To fly solo to rest before going back to flying solo.
no, you know, interesting enough, I don't like to be too much on my own. I don't know, I always love to be surrounded by people, and thankfully a lot of people here that work with us are my friends. So yeah, it wouldn't be a gigantic group of people that you rest with, but it's always good to have just like, you know, laid back conversations with people that you already trust. I think people that survived a lot of like surviving a fashion show is like something else. So you you have so much trust for each other, because in the very critical moments one have to help another. So like stakes are high, there is a lot of adrenaline, a lot of like pressure, a lot of like it's very tight timing to execute it. So you have to trust those people, and when you trust people so much and you do something together, of course you end up loving them, and of course they end up becoming your friends. Like how won't they?
Yeah.
So yeah.
So basically you are like, so you put yourself, your life on this track, like a massive train, and you cannot stop. It's going and going and going, right?
Well, pretty much, but I don't.
Bullet train.
Yeah, but I don't think about it this way. It's just life, and I am beyond grateful that it happened this way.
Sure.
I mean, God knows it could have been the other path, but you know, helping people every single day while doing something good for yourself as well. I mean, like I'm also running my own brand, and if Flying Soul wouldn't exist, I don't think that it also will go that far. So that's wonderful.
How is managing Paris store different or similar to New York store?
Well, it's definitely different. I mean, it's a different culture, it's different
Yes.
country. There is a lot of learning. So any brand ever wants to go to Paris on your own, I'll advise you to first learn more about French, like behavior and everything. It will be different laws. It will be different procedures to do things, and everything that you think you already learn, like you have to learn and go about it one more time. But again, I think it's a challenge. It's fun. It's Paris. Like, who doesn't love Paris?
I used to not like it.
Yeah.
I used to hate it, but I used to
didn't
hate
want to
New
say
York.
that. But
Yeah, I
that
used
was-
to hate Paris, but I learned how to love it along the way. It was just so harsh at the beginning.
Yeah, I think it's also because we were coming there just to work and
We were young and
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. I feel like with growing up, I started to appreciate it more.
Yeah, definitely, yes, but it is hard place to start something, whatever it is, and especially if you're not French or Parisian.
I have a question also. You said there were many success stories, right?
Yeah.
With flying solo. Can you give us a
of
few
course.
examples?
Like, yeah, I mean, nothing happened overnight, but we
course.
definitely grew some amazing brands into like being like big brands now. So I think the first success story, that's literally, they started with us, we opened our own store, and they opened, like, their brand is a brand Paris, and they're very known in New York right now. So if for New Yorkers, you probably know those like vegan fur coats, very colorful ones that are like the New York City full of during winter. They started with us. And a funny story is, when they started with us, they had a line of clothing that was, they had tops, bottoms, pants, dresses, and one vegan fur coat. So nothing was selling other than one fur coat. And like literally the whole month, one item sold, and they didn't take it as a failure. They took it as a success. They're like, oh wow, one is selling great, so let's make another one in a different color. So they made 2 SKUs, like 2 colors. Those both were sold out. They're like, okay, we have something, so maybe a few more colors. Then they did different shapes and, like, you know, different SKUs. And they pivoted to be a vegan fur brand, like outerwear. They didn't start there, but they pivoted to be there, and they attribute a lot of their early success to flying solo, because they're like, where else would you be able to experiment like this? If a store buys your collection and one SKU was selling, guess what? They'll never reorder it. So, and that is it for your brand. Like, they'll never purchase you again. But in flying solo, you're like, okay, well, one didn't work, this worked, okay, let's bring. So that's why we always say to our designers, it's that ability to experiment you need to capitalize on at the beginning. You cannot possibly guess everything right from the very first production run. You just won't be. Just don't hope for it, and you'll be fine. If you don't even hope for it, you'll be fine. So remember, this is just your starting point. So some things might be working, and majority will not, and it's fine. You are in the new market. You don't know it, and this is your playground. Now it's time to experiment. So yeah, so that they were one of our early successes, and they all, funny enough, their office is super nearby us, like just a few blocks away, so we run into each other quite often. And they're doing wonderful. They have a very big office. They all over the like world now, and yeah.
Look how full of smile and
Right,
love
I
she's
was
talking
just about to
right?
say
You
that.
cannot not see it. It's just there, and like you feel it that she is happy for them.
Of course. I mean, look, it's like your babies that went to the big
Flying,
world, like
flying,
flying.
Yes,
And they're
but you
all-
know
yeah.
what? There, at least in fashion, my experience, a lot of people mouths are full of stories, but in reality, they don't really do that what they represent themselves. So in her story, you can see that she is feeling it first and then doing it. So that's why I pointed out that I can feel it. That
No, that's
in you.
true. But at the same time, they did it with, like, I mean, they did it. We provide a platform. Again, like we tell to every designer, we provide a wonderful platform for you to be able to succeed, because otherwise otherwise it's really hard out there. But we provide that platform where you actually can succeed. But it'll be on you to experiment. So if you choose not to do anything with your brand, I mean, we still will do our work, but you will not get as high as you can if you will be putting in work. So yeah, it's a both-sided thing. Like, so they did so much, we just gave a platform.
Yeah.
she's modest.
Elizabeth, in 2020, you wrote that new digital fashion shows is like never going to replace the real in-person one. With the time passed by, do you see it somehow differently? Do you see the possibility that now we also saw the collaboration between the traditional fashion shows and digital, complementing each other? Did your
Opinion.
did it change a little bit, or?
Well, no, I mean, what I stated then and still true now is that just digital, us watching our screens will never replace in-person shows, and I stand by it. They will definitely are, it's not like I don't believe in technology, of course I do. I mean, there will be some kind of AR addition to the shows and some kind of collaboration, but the whole point of fashion show is an event.
Yeah.
Like if we're just watching from the screen, what is the point of a fashion show? Anyone who goes to fashion shows know exactly what it is about, and that should stay. It's always going to stay this way. More than that, a lot of people in 2020 said that now we're just going to order everything online, and it's just cheaper, no stores, faster, all those right reasons. But you're like, have you ever shopped in the store before to ride this? Like, there is so much fun in doing it and touching the thing and trying on and interacting with people. Like, we will never do everything online. Yes, for utility things like, you know, white socks from Amazon, sure, we'll shop there. But for fashion, why would you? It's an experience. And I think it's even more true today that people want to feel something when they buy. We don't buy because we are cold and we didn't have a coat, that's why we bought another one. I mean, 99% of the people don't shop this way. We shop to make us feel a certain way. So, and that's why physical retail is so important.
Yeah. So you don't sell online?
We do.
You do?
No, of course we do. And I mean, for repeated orders, or oftentimes when people come in and like see something they can purchase from there. I'm not denying that people shop online, of course, but I'm just saying physical retail will never go away.
Yeah. And do you know where do you sell more physically or online?
For us, we sell more physically, but there is a definite reason for it. I mean, we're a discovery platform for designers and for the customers that come for designers. And people want to discover brands in person and see the actual quality and the fit and how it's like feels on their body, because a lot of what we sell here is really not basic. You really need to try it on and see how it actually looks on you before you start. And I mean, sometimes it happens that people start falling in love with design and then a bunch from them keep ordering online, or they came to the store and then flew somewhere else and they're like, oh damn, I should just at least order online. Yes, that's of course part of the whole thing, but a lot of, especially for independent brands, it's so important to be in physical stores. I mean, we all know as customers that oftentimes you order something online that you didn't know, and then it comes and you're like, oh God, it doesn't even look remotely like it's supposed to. And that's how people feel about independent brands. Like, is it going to look the same way as it look on the model, on the pictures? I don't know, so why would I buy it? And here you can actually, try it on.
Yeah, Instagram versus reality.
I wanted to also point out, when you said the fashion show is an event, people who go to fashion show, they don't go there just to watch. They go there to present their style. So they are models at the fashion show as well. And this is, I think, big part. Complementing what you said, it's a feeling. Going to fashion show, it's a feeling. How do you feel, and how do you preserve someone else's feelings or expressions, designers or models?
Yeah, and it also makes you feel like exclusive.
Yes,
like you're part of some
That
community.
is true,
Yes,
in a way, right?
Of course, as she said, community.
Yeah, community. That's what we're all about.
Yeah. What would you say to 5-7 years old Elizabeth now, if you had a chance to talk to her? After all this experience, ups and downs?
I will say you're going to make it. Like, just whatever. Interesting enough, it was always in my head that I'm end up getting somewhere great. I didn't know how. It just was always like a thing. And I didn't know that it's real. As a kid, you just don't know if it's real or you just dreams. And little by little, it's interesting how much you like. how slow it goes in your head, but how much you can achieve over time, and you just start just moving in the right direction, and you don't even know what direction is really, but just like if you are in the place where you don't know where to go or lost in your life, just pick one thing that feels right. And I think that's how my entire path of life happened. Is like, oh, that feels right. I don't know where it will take me yet, but that action feels right in the moment. And then you just keep following, and and you end up being in wonderful places.
Yeah, so you would assure her to follow her heart.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like,
and not doubt herself.
Definitely, yeah.
Do you dream more or less than little Elizabeth nowadays?
Well, I think I'm more practical about it nowadays. It's, for me, it's no longer dreams. It's just like, well, we're going to make it happen. Like, it's,
Love it.
That is it.
No, there is a dream. I have to make it up.
Yeah, it's, you know,
It's a plan.
Yeah,
It's a plan. Yeah.
One day I realized a very interesting thing. There is no real distinction between when it's a plan or it's a dream. What makes it an actual plan? When you say, I'm going to do it.
Yes.
So that's the only shift in your energy when you're like, okay, I'm going to do it. But it's still in your head. It still didn't happen yet. So, and all of a sudden all the people, yes, we're doing it. It's like, no, but I mean, like there was no real difference between you just dreaming it. You just say, we're going for it. And somehow, I guess with your credibility, people start believing it. So that's literally the only difference. So, I mean, being older now, you know, you just have to say in your head, we are actually going for it. And then it's pretty much a reality. I mean, you still might have obstacles along the way, but you'll get
always
there.
have the obstacles.
But it's making it more fun to overcome them, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Elizabeth, is there anything, if you had a chance to make different from your past, what would it be? Would you change anything?
Any regrets?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I think even the mistakes that you make are your lessons. Like, I mean, look, if we didn't have a fashion show on the rooftop, I mean, I wish we'd pick a different date, right? I would say, like the day before was warmer. Like, let's say we knew. But right now, sitting here, I'm happy that we picked the coldest day of the year because it was so many challenges, but we rise above them and actually execute the show. And now I know that we can do it no matter what. So that's a tremendous value. So I wouldn't do it any other way. So that's for many obstacles, like, and challenges. Like, you could have made it easier if you knew what you know now, but why would you? Then you wouldn't learn all those like wonderful lessons.
Yeah. Thank you so much for sharing all of this information. I think it was really helpful. And of course, like, subscribe, and comment.
And stop by flying solo, but we're not done yet.
We're not done yet. We have a game.
Sure. Yes. Where is the game?
What's the game?
Here's the game.
Here is the game.
It's easy. You just have to pick this or that.
Okay. Well, in the second season, we were telling everyone it's just so hard game. Now we're switching.
Easy.
Okay, let's see.
We're gonna use the
technology.
Technology. All right, let's use technology.
You start.
Okay, coffee or matcha?
Oh, coffee, of course.
Weekend getaway or staycation?
Away.
Books or podcasts?
Podcast.
Dancing at a party or deep conversation at a dinner?
Deep conversation at dinner.
Bold red lip or natural glow?
Natural glow.
All black everything or color pop moment?
Color pop.
City skyline or ocean view?
Oh, that's a tough one. Love both. Can I say both?
Sure.
This time.
Yeah.
Organized planner you are, or notes on your phone type?
Notes on my phone all the time.
Yeah. Texting or voice notes?
Voice notes.
Power lunch or long breakfast?
It's a luxury to have a long breakfast, so I'll go with that.
Do it yourself or delegate and move on?
Now definitely delegate and move on. It's something that you learn as a leader.
Right. And here I have another one for you. 1 second. We have to choose an outfit.
Sure.
So is it a sleek dress?
Okay.
No, sleek dress with the top or worn jeans? I mean, worn t-shirt.
Definitely the first one.
This
it's
one.
like, yes,
I can see you here.
Yes, yes, definitely. That's for her. Who chose your styling today?
Oh, well, I have a wonderful stylist. Her name is Alina. She actually is a creative director for all of our shows, and we became good friends, so she styles me.
Oh, amazing. Is your outfit designers from Flying Soul?
A little bit here
Mixed.
and there. Yeah, mixed, yeah.
Mixed. And you're wearing your jewelry?
Of course, yes.
Of course.
Yes. And
us too.
yes, yes. So there are so many questions on the line for everything that you did and that you're planning to do. But there is one that I really want. What is next for you? Done the shows. You are now pro at doing shows. You're such a great platform. So many designers, PR. Is there anything else that you are aiming to achieve?
Well, actually,
5-10 years from now?
I think it's now the chapter of perfecting little things. So I think we finally have time to go deep into their processes and those little things that we just couldn't pay attention to, we now can. So we start doing, we call it Flying Solo Club. We start doing basically parties for our designers, but it's not just a party. It's a way for community to get together, for designers, for the stylists, photographers. So we always take them to fun places, organize dinners and lunches and parties and all those things. I mean, something that we could never do because we're all so busy. Now we can. And deepening connections with our designers and helping them in other ways, giving them more education, more attention. So I think it's now it's about going not wide but deep.
That's deep.
That's deep. That's very deep. Yes. We learned that flying solo was impossible, but she made it.
Yes.
We learned that community and teamwork can make anything happen. We learned so many lessons.
Yes.
So rewatch it. It will be very, very helpful.
Thank you so much for having us.
Of course. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for a wonderful conversation. I mean, I haven't told the full story of Flying Solo for quite a bit, and it's always nice to refresh the memories and good ones. So thank you so much for bringing it up.
And something new coming up, you invite us and we talk about that again.
Absolutely.
As you're a platform for designers, we're a platform for people like you, for inspiring designers and all other creatives. Elizabeth reminded us that fashion is a little bit more than just clothes.
It's about vision, it's about guts, it's about creating space for other people.
And remember,
Fashion fades,
but the story lasts.
forever. Thank you.